thanks so much for tuning in to Dub World. Today we have a special video for you. We're going down memory lane. This weekend is the 33rd annual Florida Bug Jam in Dade City, Florida. And what you're looking at here is the site for the very first Bug Jam that took place in December of 1989. This little tiny field is what started it all. We had around 60 cars or so back then, and the event was held in conjunction with the Land O'Lakes Flapjack Festival, which was across this busy street here. The street wasn't so busy back in the late 80s, so if you're wondering how the Bug Jam started, a man named Henry Bruno, who lived in the area and also was a Volkswagen fan, reached out to our club, Bay Area V-Dubs, and asked if we would help him organize and put on the show. Of course we said yes, and that started a great relationship and was the foundation for the Bug Jam show that you know today. This little field again started it all, and if you want to drive by and check it out, it's right next to this funeral home on Highway 41 in Land O'Lakes, Florida. Now across the street is where the site for Bug Jam 90 was. We moved to a much bigger field, and this is the area that we showed the cars in and also parked spectators. Right across the street there is where we would later move in 1992. And I'm going to zoom in here in a second, and you're going to see where we just were over there by the funeral home, right back there. I did manage to find some photos from Bug Jam 90, and I'm going to show those to you now. This is actually my Beetle that I had at the time for 89 and 90, and a couple years after that. This was Mike Porta's race car. Mike's no longer with us, sadly, but we remember him. Miguel Mercado and his beautiful bug here. And lastly, Bill Miller of Tampa with his split window Beetle. This was actually the first split window Beetle I ever saw, and that was in the 1980s when I met Bill. And this is the front of the park here, Heritage Park, where the Flapjack Festival was held every year. Sadly, Land O'Lakes no longer has the Flapjack Festival, and that's really sad because it was a great family event. And there we are looking across the street where Bug Jam 90 was. So now let's go to the site of Bug Jam 91. If you remember, it was around this lake here. Those houses didn't exist, and more importantly, this area that we're about to see was all grass and dirt. None of these buildings, none of these roads, nothing existed back then. This was all prior farmland. And as you can see now, there's nothing about this that you would recognize from Bug Jam 91, also known as the Desert Storm Show because of the dirt. Now we're back over in Land O'Lakes, and this is the athletic fields here at the park that we were previously at. This is the site for Bug Jam 92. This field has been revamped, but it was split between two areas. The larger area is where we had the Bug Jam at one time. We flip-flopped between sides as the show grew, and ultimately the show grew so much that we had to move to Dade City, where we are now. So that's your little behind-the-scenes look at Bug Jam, the early years. I hope you enjoyed it. Please stop by and say hello if you're attending this year's Bug Jam. I'd love to meet you. That's all for today's video. I might be shooting some live videos at the Bug Jam. We'll see how that goes. Anyways, see you next time on Dub World.